back, relax, and let's have a chapter chat. Today, we are joined by international best-selling author, Sarah McCoy. Thank you so much for being here, Sarah.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be here to talk to you today.
And you are on book tour right now for your latest novel, Whatever Happened to Lori Lovely.
Correct. I have been on the road. I was on the road for 16 days straight. So now getting to talk to you from my home feels like the greatest gift and luxury ever. So I'm in the best mood. You're catching me just, sunshine and happiness to be home and talking to you about this book that I just love dearly.
I love this book dearly as well. It captured me from the first page.
Thank you. I'm so glad it did. That's, when you sit down at the desk and you're writing day after day, week after week, month after month, that's what you're hoping for. You're hoping to have that connection with one reader, one-on-one, your characters with that reader. So when you hear from someone like you that's happened, that's why I do what I do. That's the goal.
And I think that you've accomplished your goal with this book for sure. And this one, it's so intriguing because you've got this Hollywood star in the golden age, and she leaves it all behind to become a nun.
I know. Let me just tell you, off the cuff. Well, I do code names for my books. I keep the idea, the characters, the concept very close to my chest. I don't share it with hardly anyone, not even my husband. He didn't find out what this book was really about until I was probably a year and a half into it. So very close to my chest. He didn't read this until it came out in a galley form like 6 months ago. So yes. And so for years, people would say, "What are you writing?" And I would say, to put them off, I'd say, "Oh, I'm writing about a nun. It's a nun book." You should. I mean, you can imagine how fast people were like, "Oh, well, that sounds interesting." And then they would back off and not ask me any more questions. So, but yes, it's about a young 18-year-old when she starts in 1968, Lori Lovely, who wants to do what most 18, 19-year-olds want at that age, which is to be something in the world, right? She wants to be famous. She wants to have all the lights and the glitter, and she wants the world to say, "You're amazing." And I think that's most, particularly in this time, this generation, the younger ones growing up, they want to have 1 million followers on TikTok. They want to get 1,000 likes every single time they post anything. That's its own brand of famousness, of celebrity. And so she's very much like that in 1968. And she gets what she wants. She's catapulted to the top of the world when she's cast as Juliet in Romeo and Juliet, the musical. And she's worldwide famous. She's beloved by all. And then a series of events makes her question, well, I've got it all, and yet I'm still not happy. Why am I not happy? Why am I not fulfilled? What's next for me? What's my purpose if I've achieved what the world tells me is everything that I want to be worthy and to be at the top? I've done it all at 19. At that point, she leaves Hollywood. Again, a series of events I'm not going to reveal because there are lots of twists and turns there. And she joins a cloistered Benedictine abbey in Connecticut. So that's the Lori Lovely story. And I'm giving a lot of information, but it's a dual narrative, as you know.
Yes, and I love that about it.
Yes. So the opposite side, but actually I should say the counterbalance to the historical 1968 Lori Lovely is Lou Tibbet in 1990, which, Jessica, I am now told is historical fiction. 1990. I mean, honestly, I've told people on tour, I have t-shirts.
Yeah.
I have t-shirts that look fresh as the day I bought them in 1990. So 1990, Lou Tibbet is Lori Lovely's niece. And she is a fifth-year senior at her college, and her college has told her, write your thesis and graduate, or we're kicking you out and you're losing all your tuition, all your money for education. And so she decides to go to the Abbey in Connecticut and interview her aunt and get the truth. And that's something I play with in all my work is, what is history really? What is truth really? Doesn't it depend on who's telling it and the context around who's telling it and what they're putting out as history and what they're holding back for whatever reasons? And so both, it's almost a cat and mouse game between niece and aunt in a very loving way that I hoped developed their relationship in a deeply, deeply meaningful way too. In that Lori is giving her niece some, but not all, because she's got her dark secrets. Lou is asking and giving her aunt some, but not all, because she's got her own secrets and theories. And so it's sort of this back and forth. And that's the way the chapters move forward, is that Lou asks questions. She's seeking answers, but she's got her own agenda. Lori is giving her answers, but not all of them, because she senses that Lou has an agenda. And they go all the way up sort of the roller coaster of this novel. And so that's the structure. It's a very character-driven, it's a very relationship-driven novel. Those are the kind of books that I read. Those are the kind I want, because I'm not, and maybe this is just me, I am not all about the action, just like boom, 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 boom. Oh, I figured it out. Ooh, boom. Oh, surprise, done. Now I'm going to move on to the next book. I like to savor. I like to say, wow, I got to know those people. I got to know those relationships, and I miss them now that I've closed the book.
That's what I like in a book as well. And I can tell you're a very relational person, relationship driven, just in your everyday life. And you're a champion for other women and other authors.
I almost enjoy talking about my friends' work, other authors, and being like, go get their books. I was telling you all about a friend, Lisa C., and all about her work and how much I love her as a friend. And she actually, when I went out to LA to do research for this, I spent a whole day with her, and we walked the Palisades together, and we had tea. So I love getting to know other women authors and spreading the good news of their work. So everyone go read Lisa C. first off. And second off, I think that's important. I think that's so important for us to champion each other, even in my novels, other women who are artists. This is based on 3 actresses, real life actresses. And I wanted to celebrate them. I wanted to celebrate their art and their storytelling and what they've done with their lives. And only one of them is still alive. And yes, I went and I spent time with her. And the other 2 are passed on to another realm. And their art, though, remains. And so that's what I want to celebrate. I want to say, go read these women's books. They have memoirs they put out. Go watch their films. Go listen to everything about them, celebrate their lives. So that is, it's other authors, but it's also authors and artists and actresses and painters and dancers and women that have pioneered some realm that I think deserve spotlight again.
I love celebrating other women as well. I think that that is just a beautiful tribute to these artists. And I want to talk about the relationship that you developed with one of the characters in your book. Let's talk a little bit more about that.
Mother Dolores Hart. I love her so much and so truly that even talking about her makes me stop and have like a moment, like a breath. Like it makes me take a breath of peace just to say her name. I saw the movie Where the Boys Are in 2016. I had never seen it before. And it blew my mind when she came on the screen. And she is just gorgeous. 1960 it came out. Blonde hair, blue eyes. You can't look away from her. I was taken. And she plays a character called Merritt, who is incredibly modern, incredibly forward, strong, progressive woman. Very sexually advanced, too, for her time, which surprised me because at the end, and I loved it. I loved the whole movie. I loved it all. Connie Francis sings in it. I mean, there's beach scenes. It's just got everything. Go watch it. I get to the end, and the host comes on, as they do on Turner Classic Movie Channel, and said, so this is Dolores Hart. She was Elvis's first on-screen kiss, and there were rumors she might have had an affair with him, a romance with him outside. And soon after making this film, she left Hollywood altogether at the early age of 22, 23, and joined a Benedictine abbey in Connecticut and has been there ever since.
You were like, I've got to meet her.
No, I actually, what I thought was, what the heck? What the heck? What would make someone, she's so progressive, she's gorgeous, she's 22. I mean, she's got the world out of her, she's the top of her game. She is a celebrated actress. She kissed Elvis. I thought, what would make this woman go and join a Benedictine, which is a very, very, not strict, but they've got their rules. They're cut off from all public. They're cloistered. They sing 8 times a day. I mean, what? And I went down a rabbit hole, started Googling, got all this information, and just thought, that is wild, wild. But then I couldn't get her off my mind. It was 2 weeks of almost every night on my mind. And yeah, I'm not Catholic, first off, but I come from a mama who is very spiritual. And so all my life, she always said, if someone is sticking on your mind and you can't get them off, and particularly she knows me because I can have like insomnia. I can get really, I think it's a writer thing. I can get obsessed on a topic and I can't get off it. And so she would say, Sarah, in order to go to sleep, if you got this person on your mind, just say a prayer for them. Say a prayer for them and then let it go. It's like giving it up to the angels and then go to sleep. So I sort of did that. So I couldn't get her off my mind. And so I decided I'm going to write her a fan letter. I'm going to write her a fan letter and I'm going to say, I just saw your movie for the first time. And this is what I wrote. I just saw it for the first time and it was gorgeous and I loved it. And I just wanted to let you know that even though you have not been in the public for decades, your art and your work continues to influence people because I am just seeing it. And I am moved by it. And I am moved by the character that you portrayed. And I am moved by you. And I just want to thank you. And I want to let you know you're not forgotten. Because honestly, Jessica, if I left the world for whatever reason, public or the world, I would hope that my books decades from now are being read by young people, younger than me, and continue to influence them. I sent the letter off to the Abbey's blanketed online address, and she wrote me back.
Were you like, oh my goodness, she actually wrote me back?
Oh, I was shaken. I was shaken at the post, when I opened my mailbox and I got it out. I was like, no, because it was handwritten, and I knew. I feel like looking back, I see it now, but at the time I was so shaken. But it was like everything went Technicolor. And sort of weird, like I was in the Wizard of the Oz scene, like around me, because there was something special happening. Even at that moment, and I opened it up, and she said, "Thank you for writing me. I haven't heard from fans in years, and it means so much that you're still watching my work, my movies, and write to me and tell me what I can pray for you."
Oh,
and I just thought, yes, okay, let's do this. So I wrote her back more because I just wanted to know her. And I felt a draw, a magnetism, a kismet between us. And I was fascinated by her. So for 7 years before I started writing this book, it was 2016, we were pen pals. We just wrote about our lives. She wrote me about building new buildings on the farm. And I told her about the things I was struggling with physically, some health issues. And she prayed for me. And she knows I'm not Catholic. And she knew I wasn't trying to convert. It was just 2 women sharing our hearts and lives together. And then During that period, I moved from Chicago to North Carolina. And when I got here to North Carolina, where I am now, I discovered Ava Gardner. This is Ava Gardner's territory. She grew up here in North Carolina and was discovered when her photograph was used in a photography studio window and to draw customers to sell photos, photography sessions. And someone from one of the cinemas nearby walked by and said, "You should audition for a movie that's coming out, that they're doing auditions for." And so she went and she got discovered.
I love hearing those stories.
I learned too that she felt that at 18, 19, she was told that she was the most beautiful thing ever. She was the it girl. And then by 21, 22, she was told, "Oh, you're starting to fade." And she was like, "Huh?" And so did I peak? So now what? Now what do I do? Because now I'm not the beauty I was 3 or 4 years ago. And so now what? And then during this time, I read Olivia Hussey's The Girl on the Balcony memoir. Olivia Hussey was the Juliet of the smash global box office hit Romeo and Juliet. I watched that film, Jessica. I can't tell, probably close to 50 times. I watched it over and over as a child, and every single time, and I'm not a child, a teenager, I would sob. I would just sob, and I loved it. It was like cathartic, like sobbing for these characters. And that is part of my makeup then too. So I love that idea of being so entrenched in, again, relationships in a love story that you just break every single time for them. And so I read her memoir, and in her memoir, she said the same thing that the other two had said, Mother Dolores and Ava. She said, by the time she filmed the film, Romeo and Juliet, when she was 16. She said, by the time I was 17, 18, I was at the very top of my game and the world all loved me. There was nothing left for me to do. There was no higher for me to go. There was no more prize I could get. I was everyone's love. Girls wanted to be me. The men wanted to have me. I couldn't turn left or right. I was it, she said, and it messes with your head. And so all three of these actresses, the connection I found is they all left sort of that celebrity life and went inward. All three of them. Mother Dolores went to the church. Olivia Hussey followed a guru, and Ava turned to relationships. She married men and women. She was looking for love, for someone to love Ava for me, and not for me in here inward, not for me out here with all the riches and the stuff that the world tells me is what is important, but me inside. And she couldn't find it. And so alcohol became her crutch, and she became an alcoholic. And so I saw this pattern in these young, brilliant, talented women. And I thought, oh my gosh, look at the women today. Look at my generation. Look at the younger generation. We're still doing it. All three of these voices first came together in my mind and in my crazy Sarah head as one voice, as Lori Lovely. You can have all the things. You can check all the boxes of happiness that you've made for yourself, of what's going to make you happy, what's going to make you fulfilled. And you can check them all off and you will still be unhappy because it's not the stuff. It's something internal. It's finding your purpose in this universe and then doing it with all your heart and mind and soul. And that is what's going to be fulfilling.
If you don't have that, then you can reinvent yourself 1,000 times and you're still not going to come to that peace.
Absolutely. You've nailed it. That is the heart. That is the heart of Lori Lovely that I want readers to really invest in. It sounds very, very, it is very deep and there's a spiritual component and there's a life component and there's all these things. But as you know, because you've read it, it's also got a lot of fun. I mean, it's Hollywood and it's, Lucas Wesley, Elvis Presley. I mean, it's got these characters in it that, again, I'm not trying to trick the reader into like I actually love it when I see people review my book or when they come up to me at events and they're say, I figured it out.
And Sarah, I can tell you just have such a joy for life. And you also have a grant program. Can we talk a little bit about that?
The McCoy grant. Yes. I swore back when I was in graduate school for my MFA, and I was on all loans and I was teaching. So I was teaching all day long at the university, students, undergrad, and then going to my graduate courses at night. And then I had loans on top of it just to get through my graduate courses and to graduate with my MFA in creative writing because I knew that I wanted to be a writer and I wanted it so much. And so I would do anything. And so I made a promise to myself then. When you can, I'm going to give back to the community. I'm going to give some kind of grant or scholarship that is to other writers who are struggling, who say, oh my gosh, if I just had a little bit extra to help me do this dream, I would do it. And so when I got to that point in my career, I immediately was like, yes, here we go. We're going to do it. So the McCoy grant is for yet unpublished women writers who are booksellers, who work in the bookstore or who work in some sort of book capacity where we're selling books. So that's their day job. And then they're writing at night. And it's for them. It's to say, you're working your butt off. You're doing all the things, girl. And now I'm going to give you a little help. So writers submit 10 pages of their current work in progress. And then we go over them and we decide on a yearly basis 2 scholarships of $1,500 each.
We need these voices. We need people to just go out there and pursue your passion because your art matters.
Yes, and I think we need more people to not be ashamed. Not ashamed maybe is the wrong word, but not to be so shy, I don't know, about being passionate. We need everyone to say this, whatever it is, be it that you write hip hop lyrics or you scribble, little funny haikus on napkins. I don't care what it is. If you love it and you're passionate about it, say, this is what I'm passionate about. Don't try to be so like, oh yeah, I do this as a hobby, because then it will be nothing but a hobby. Your dream will never come to be if you don't voice that this is something that you wholeheartedly embrace and love and want to put out there in the world. So I think more women particularly get sort of hushed for their projects. And I want to see more women say, I'm big and I am bold and I am passionate and I'm in the world and I'm showing up. I'm showing up for myself. So I definitely advocate for that. And I try to live that way. Because I have to say, there are many, many days when I don't. And I am in my marriage with my incredible husband. I am actually the glass is half empty.
Really? I would have never guessed that.
Yes, he is the glass is half full. He is eternally optimistic about everything. And I need that in my life. And I think that helps me lift because I have my days, I have my dark side. So I advocate for the positive because that makes me more positive, to be honest. I think sometimes when that darkness creeps up, you need to battle it with light. That's the only thing.
Well, you are shining such a bright light in this world. I have enjoyed talking with you, enjoyed this book. Do yourself a favor and read Whatever Happened to Lori Lovely. Sarah, thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Jessica. This has been incredible, and I hope readers thoroughly enjoy finding out whatever happened to Lori Lovely and discovering the different parts of these real life actresses' lives and their choices that they made, because like I said earlier, that's really the celebration here. And I hope that they take all of these discoveries into their own lives and apply them and learn from them and grow from them and then share them with their friends and their book club and their mothers and their daughters and their family. That's the goal for me.
That is the goal. And our goal is for all of our listeners to have a fabulous day. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Chapter Chat. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Happy reading.